For coastal Florida, I'm Mona Austin. Here's what you need to know about Hurricane Milton.
We have someone who can talk to us about preparation. I have on the line FEMA spokesperson Michael Hart. I just want to ask you first and foremost, do you have everything you need to prepare for this storm?
Yes, we do. We have people and commodities in place right now in Florida, waiting to move in once the storm passes, and we can move them in closer to where those people and commodities will be needed most. Right now, the focus is on people being prepared. We want everyone who is in harm's way of Hurricane Milton to first and foremost listen to their local officials, and if told to evacuate as quickly and safely as possible. Some other things they need to be thinking about is to have an evacuation plan. What is their destination once they leave the area? Where will they meet family members if they do get separated? And how will they communicate with those family members as well? And
those are some very important points you are making, because sometimes fear can lead people to move aimlessly. So you're saying to have a plan. And what are those 3 things again? 3 or 4 things you mentioned?
Well, know your destination when you leave your area. Have a plan if you get separated from family members. How will you communicate with them? And then who will you contact once you reach your destination?
Now, is there a website that has this type of instruction on it that people can go to in the state of Florida?
They can search FEMA.gov, but more importantly, search on ready.gov.
Okay. And I understand that there are probably around, I believe Governor DeSantis said there are about 8,000 National Guards people awaiting for the aftermath in the event that they are needed. And I saw quite a few people evacuating. It looked like a mass exodus. But then I also saw lots of people packing sandbags. Do you have any sense of the people who may be still staying behind? Any numbers on that?
I don't have the numbers on that, but we do encourage people, if you are going to stay behind, to have an emergency kit ready. Now, what is in that kit? It should have food, water, medication, any important documents that you may need after the storm moves on. And don't forget any items that you may need for your pets also.
And this is not the first rodeo, unfortunately, for Florida. Floridians who are just getting over or in the process of recovering from Helene, and now another monstrous storm is on the way. What are Floridians doing spiritually? Are there houses of worship that are involved? Places people can call to handle the anxiety of this? Any things of that nature that are available?
You know, this is not, anytime there's a devastating storm like this, Hurricane Milton, which we know is on the way to the state of Florida, Hurricane Helene, which has affected so many states, you know, it's not just a FEMA response effort. We work closely with numerous federal agencies, voluntary organizations, nonprofit organizations, and also houses of worship. It's a full whole of government. It is neighbor helping neighbor. All of these agencies working closely together, state and local agencies as well. And the whole purpose is to make sure that once the storm does pass, that people have all of the resources to help them jumpstart their recovery and get back on their feet as soon as possible.
Can you name some of the places that you are aligned with where people can get some help outside of FEMA, or are all those places also listed on the FEMA website?
They can search on FEMA.gov for access to other agencies as well, links, but I would also encourage them to search the American Red Cross as well as the Salvation Army.
Okay. And for things like food and shelter, are those the places, FEMA, Salvation Army, Red Cross, those are typically the places that are already, they have so much experience already addressing these kinds of things. That's what we're looking for, is to tell people where to get the help that they need. And even organizations, I have learned that some of the organizations that typically help have been overtaxed and overwhelmed with Helene. So a lot of the resources that they could share are being, sort of absorbed from helping over in North Carolina and other places that already were hit. Are you seeing any of that?
I can tell you this, that all of the agencies that deal with emergencies like this, of this magnitude, we're all built to handle and work through the complex issues of multiple disasters.
Okay.
FEMA, for sure, we work closely with our local and state partners, so we are very well equipped to handle multiple complex disasters.
What do you say to people about the misinformation and disinformation that's being spread about the federal government's response?
The misinformation and disinformation, obviously, it is a hindrance to helping people have the most accurate information because they're making decisions that affect their livelihood. So we work very diligently to make sure that we are distributing the most accurate, current, and up-to-date information, whether it be through our social media channels, our website, or press releases, having our leadership talk to media outlets such as yourself. This is super helpful in helping us get information, pertinent information, out to those who are in harm's way, and also those who are working to recover from a disaster and get their lives back on track.
Well, we appreciate all that you are doing and all of the first responders that are down there in Florida. Our prayers are certainly with all of you. Is there anything that I have not asked you that you want people to adhere to and understand about the seriousness of the situation, or any other information you want to share?
Hurricane Milton is a serious threat. We need everyone who is in harm's way of that storm to pay close attention to their local officials as far as instructions based on where they are. And if told to evacuate, again, they should do so as quickly and as safely as possible. We want everyone to survive this storm, and then when it passes, we'll work the long and arduous recovery and rebuilding.
It is important that you heed the instructions and warnings of local officials, as misinformation has been spread about the federal response to the hurricane. Now, the White House has set up a Reddit page to share accurate news about the storm before, during, and after Milton.